This is the Nerdy Old Men Podcast, recognized by City View Magazine as best of the best in podcasts. And here are your hosts, the Old Bald Man Chad and Redneck Wes. Good morning, Wes.
Hey, buddy.
Happy, late, or
it's a day
All Hallows
after.
Eve.
Yeah.
It's
Today's
Day
the
of the,
first,
it's Day of the
November
Dead,
1st.
though, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. See, cultured. This guy. No, it's not accurate. Just an energy drink's all I've had today. What's up, dude?
Well, we survived Halloween.
And it's raining like
First time in like
nuts outside.
a month. First day of vacation, by the way.
First day, and it's
And
raining.
it's raining.
West does bring down the black clouds.
Nah, what can you say?
Look at this. He's in vacation mode. He's all like unshaven. He's freaking got
Yes. I'm
Bass Pro hats ready to go.
got my flannel on. It's
He's officially fall.
time. Yeah.
He's fall. Didn't give a damn.
But I do have
if
my
it's-
G.I. Joe shirt on.
Say it was G.I. Joe shirt. Well, how was
The Baroness.
yes? How was Halloween for you?
It was a long day at work, so
Yeah.
but the girls went out and did a little trick or treating,
Mm-hmm.
and we had they had set a bucket out at the end of the driveway.
The auto feeder.
Yeah, they had just a bucket and different candy and stuff, but they put little I guess it's like the pill stickers, like letters and bats and all the little things.
Yeah.
And so as I come home, it's all blowed across the front yard because the winds.
Yeah.
Because there's a cold front coming through because it's raining today.
Yeah.
So I moved it up by the front door and put we had the jack-o'-lantern and everything going.
Yeah.
And I had one little Spider-Man come by.
That's it, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Our neighborhood does not get a lot of trick-or-treaters.
We didn't, but now that some people have moved away and some have moved in, there was a whole bunch of little kids, so that was pretty cool.
That's always fun, though.
Yeah.
This little guy, he probably was like maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But it was neat, though, because Mom and Dad had dressed up as Mario and Princess Peach, and
That's
there was
awesome.
Luigi running around. But, he came up and he got a couple little things out of the bucket, and that's all we
Well,
we had,
you know, we
The big neighborhood on the other side of the 4-lane,
Yeah.
Weirwood's,
Oh, yeah.
oh gosh.
Yeah, it's
they
a
were parked down at
massive
the
one,
bank
yeah.
and the eyeglass
that's cool.
clinic and walking up the hill.
Yeah.
It's always funny because the neighborhood that I'm talking about, as you come in, you go down this really steep hill and then you go up this very steep hill.
Right. Oh, yeah, yeah.
And people will park at the bank at the bottom of the hill by the road, and they'll walk up. And about halfway up that hill, they have really regretted their life decision at that point. So
it's either go on to the candy or
yeah,
go back.
Go back, yeah. So, all right, I have seen people like walk back down there, get the car, and wait in traffic to go pick them up.
It'd be so funny to record them and then play the Misty Mountain song from The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're going up.
As they're going up the hill. That'd been funny.
But it's a lot of fun. We our costume group last Thursday, so a week ago, we got to help out at Boo at the Zoo, and it was a huge turnout for. I mean, because you're thinking Thursday, it won't be, and we had kids. It was crazy, and it was a lot of fun. Did get to poke fun at my buddy Super Tot.
Super tot.
Taylor's had a lot of success. He went to New York Comic Con, and his Superman just killed.
Well, he does pull off a
he's got a very good Superman. He had the new James Gunn suit he actually made.
That's awesome.
He actually got it signed by James Gunn.
Oh, that's
James
even
Gunn signed
cooler.
yeah. And so he's Superman at Boo at the Zoo. I'm Captain America.
Oh, you're gonna do Boo at the Zoo? That's awesome.
Yeah, well, we did Boo at the Zoo.
Oh, okay.
This was this past Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's already
Just
over.
said that, but Chad,
Shut
attention to me.
Just continue.
And so his little boy shows up at Boo at the Zoo.
Yeah.
And Jamie's a cute little kid, dressed up as Captain America. So Kayla had mentioned, that Chris Pratt's son had done that to him one year. They were out trick or treating, and Chris Pratt's doing the whole, his little kid's dress. So he did he recreated the pose with Superman and his little boy.
Funny.
So, but I got some pictures with him. He had a ball, but we had a great time. So thanks to Zoo Knoxville for inviting us out.
You helped that. You did, that's a good thing.
We had a really good time, but that was kind of the last little bit. But now you had an adventure.
I did, yeah. I got to
I did a little work adventure.
Yeah, had to go to Las Vegas for work and for a training class, an outstanding training class. A bunch of really awesome people in it, and I'd never been there before, and gambling's not my thing, so I was trying to find something to do beforehand.
And you did look up and find something.
Yeah, because when I found the hotel, I zoomed out on Google Maps, and BattleBots is next door, and I didn't know that.
So you got to go to the BattleBots arena?
I did get to go to the BattleBots arena, and they have a it's like a preseason kind of like a show, right? So what they did, I didn't know what to expect, but it's the arena's a little smaller than it looks on
the
TV.
Actual.
No, it's the same one.
The same ring?
It's the exact same thing, but the whole building is like a big metal building, right? And so
it's kind of like a warehouse.
Yep.
Okay.
And they got bleachers. It's really nice on the inside, right? So it's exactly what you see on television. And what they do is some of the biggest bots in the history of BattleBots, right? Mammoth and Bronco, some of the big ones. Their builders build, and they have more than one.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So they give one of them to BattleBots Destructathon, which is the name of the show, and these like guys and girl that work there use the bots. It's random.
Is it kind of like a practice?
Yeah, I guess it is. But they before one comes on, like the guy who built the bot will come on a video and say, hey, this is one of my Broncos and donated to the Destructathon to see how it does, and it's kind of like a preseason testing sort of a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was full blown. It's not staged. It's not these drivers, and they work there. They don't know what they're going to be driving.
So it is like just randomized.
It's random versus their opponent's random, and then the bot's random. So they don't know.
So it'd be like, okay, it's Chad versus Wes, and they just literally draw out of a hat.
Yep, yeah.
And then we fight.
Yeah, and it's it is like a randomizer thing, and it's a really cool show that, all the smoke effects and everything like that. Like
so everything that you would get on the TV performance.
Yes, and the Friday that I left, they were having a special thing where they were bringing in, and I was flying out, so they brought in the actual drivers for some of the other bots.
Yeah,
to come in and do a test run, and you could get tickets to that. And,
wow.
And one of the neat things is, gosh, what I'm trying to think of, Mayhem, I think is the name of the bot, has a big, huge, an older one, big bot, big, huge spinning like saw blade on the front of it. It's huge. So for one, like right before the main event, they brought it out, but its opponent was an old slot machine on
from like one of the casinos.
Yeah, and it's an old one, not digital.
With like the handle on.
Yeah, and it was on a two-wheeled like gyroscope kind of thing, sort of like kind of like a hoverboard.
Okay. But
it was controlled. So one guy was controlling it, and then the host, which was the host of this show, which is a much older than he was way back when it was on Comedy Central.
Yes.
That guy hosts the Destructathon.
Okay.
So he went over and got to drive it. Man, as soon as he ran into that slot machine, it just exploded. I mean, it took them a good 10 minutes to clean up it blew it to pieces. They found like the biggest bot they had versus that old metal and wood
slot machine.
Tore it to pieces. But it was fun, man, to see. I was trying to remember because I'd sent you pictures while I was there. So let me pop up real quick and find West Payne and go back here to where I had sent you videos. Malice and Overkill were two of them. Whiplash and Kraken. Mammoth. And I think I quit sending you names after that point. But, man, the flippers, when they were flipping them, they were really flying. I mean, up to the top of the arena and smashing back down. I mean, it. And well,
because you hear like on, I know Kenny Florian and Rose. What's I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
But anyways, they'll say stuff. Oh, I flipped him 25 feet in the air. He's actually going 25 feet.
Oh yeah. And that arena is thick. I mean, it's bullet resistant plexiglass or some sort of thing. But
which is always funny when you see them break it because
oh,
everybody
yeah.
freaks out. They're like,
oh god, yeah, and these are big. They're a lot bigger than I thought they were.
Well, I mean, it's like
they're heavyweights.
They're like what,
on the
300 pounds or something?
I think it's 250. I think
250?
yeah. Now some are a little bit smaller, some are bigger, but I mean, they're is really cool. But like Kraken is, the monster's got the big teeth.
I love that.
I mean, it crunched down into one. I can't remember who he was fighting, but it crunched down into it, punctured holes in the top of it, and then the flames that he shoots out of his mouth. It's crazy. It's so cool. But it was exciting. It was really fun. I didn't know what to expect because I don't know if it was just going to be like a, like a demo kind of show or no. They really beat the living crap out of each other, and you've got the pit over there, which is just off to the side from where the stands are. So people in the stands can look over there and watch them repair.
So you can actually sit there and watch what's going on.
You could. I bought a VIP pass, so I was like, I'm going to sit right up front. So I did.
The pictures you sent me were great.
Oh, they're right. I mean, it's like right I didn't zoom in. It was right there.
Yeah, it's like the box is right there. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, and the guy that you got the dude that hosted back in the Comedy Central days, and I can't remember his name right now. He's hosting, but then the guy who created BattleBots is there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's there. He's I call them safety controllers, and I'm not quite sure what that is. I think they him and another guy, an engineer or whatever, they have secondary controls for the bots.
Oh, really?
Just in case they can take over, kind of like a driver's ed instructor. Yeah, and I really think that's what it was. They didn't really explain what it was. They were like, I'm a safety driver, and this guy's doing a safety driver, and they would just stand there beside the driver with another controller. And I think that's just in case they got out of control, they could take it. Because the drivers in it, they're performers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of like wrestling type performers, and so but they are driving it, but they are, actors, I would guess. They're like acting in a show, kind of like if you go to Pigeon Forge here and you go to like the Comedy Barn or
the Lumberjack.
So, except for they are actually driving the bots. So it was really cool. And you can see some wear and tear on those bots too, and but they'll take them over there and repair them in between shows. So you get so they have two teams, a red and a blue team, and they fight. And the blue team won all the bouts this time. So you scan a QR code and you pick which driver from each team that you want to advance to the main event.
Okay.
And then in the main event, it's two more bots. It's not like a repeat.
So
you're going to get to see, there was 4 regular bouts, that's 8. Now you get to see 10 different, 11 including the big one that tears up the, So that was really fun.
So it is kind of set up like the actual TV show where they've got, the preliminary matches and then they've got the main event.
Yep. Except for you don't get repeated bots.
Yeah.
So it was really cool because then the banners, the championship banners are in the stands.
Oh, so they've actually hang them from the rafters?
They're hanging up there. They got a really neat merch stand where you could actually, if you wanted to, you could buy pieces of bots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the shrapnel, they call it, in little glass cases. They gave one away to a kid before the thing. A full concession stand, bar, and all that kind of craziness. I got a long sleeve T-shirt and a lanyard and some stickers. A sticker on the back of the
I saw that.
Yeah, which was really cool, man. It was
So they make it an event.
Oh yeah,
for everybody. I mean,
it was cool, and it was as laid back as could be, man.
Really?
Yeah, and once
I figured with like a bunch of engineers running around that it would be kind of like
because we know engineers. But anyway, no. And the interesting thing is the normal walkway to get over there is closed because another awesome thing for me is the Las Vegas Grand Prix for Formula One is at the end of this month, so they were building the track.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that. You're like, I just found this.
I found it. Yeah, I knew that the paddock area and the main grandstand is always there. It's a permanent structure. But I went first night I got there. I was like, I'm going to go find BattleBots. And I was down the street and I wanted to get some energy drink stuff from a gas station. So I'm walking down the street and I'm like, those look like the edge.
Fences?
Yeah, those look like retaining fences in the edge of the tracks. So I started walking down this other street and I found the barricades in one of the turns. I was like, oh my God. Straight geeking out, dude. I'm like, oh. So I kept walking, and I found the paddock area and the grandstands and all the banners and stuff. They were like,
so that was a neat little surprise on this trip.
I mean, I knew it was coming up. I knew, because I follow it, and I knew it wasn't at this time that I was going to be there, but I didn't realize they were building the track still, and they were, and it was so cool. So they had that section closed down where you had to go down the street and across the parking lot to get to BattleBots, but it was super low key. I mean, you just walk right in, they scan your thing, and they're like, "Hey, walk around, hang out." And
That's so cool, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's very fan oriented.
They had wore out bots. Some of the older ones just out there in the lobby that you could go up and look at, just like from me to you. And
now, did it have like any of the ones from like from the early days?
Yeah,
of
those were the
BattleBots?
ones that were like out in the lobby, old school ones,
like Vlad the Impaler or Biohazard.
It wasn't him. Biohazard might have been one that was there, but there were just some around, which was really neat. And before the show, you could like go out and walk through the stands. You couldn't go down to where the box is. They had it blocked off, or the battle box.
Yeah,
itself.
the battle
but
box
you could
itself.
walk to the different areas of the stand and look in it. Look over in the paddock area where they're in the pit stop or the repair area of the shop. So that was really cool.
What was it like though to actually be up against like the glass, like looking in and seeing
when they hit each other? If it's a good shot, it's loud. I mean, it's like a car wreck. I mean, and they're on TV. I thought on TV it probably looks more impressive than it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's
in
person, yes, because these are big. I mean, some of the smaller ones are that big or whatever, but they're fast and they ram into each other, and it's like a car wreck. I mean, and they're smashing and pieces flying everywhere.
It's like when you see a football game on TV versus a football game in person.
Yeah, like watching the NFL and then watching the NFL in reality.
And you're like, man, these guys are huge.
Yeah, and this is what it was like Mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big
He's
bot.
like 6 foot tall.
It's a big bot, yeah. It has big wheels and that big plastic flipper thing. And I'm like, even on TV when I watched them, I was like, that doesn't look very impressive. It flipped the crap out of these little bots. Just flinging them, and it was cool. I mean, it was cool. One of them, and I forgot which one it was, got completely cut in half. It was one of the older bots that I had never seen before, but they bring it out there, and it got blown in half.
That's wild.
One of the flippers flipped it, and it just shattered.
Well, because you hear them talk on the show, because they test everything.
Yeah.
They've got like a test area before you can compete.
Right, yep.
Because I guess there's safety limits that you can't exceed. But they'll talk about like the amount of force these things are hitting with.
Oh, and
I guess it's one of those, like you're saying, you don't understand watching on TV.
I mean, it's still cool because you got microphones everywhere. And
but it's not the same, I'd say, as being there in person and actually hearing that
and
impact.
when those kill saws come up right at the end of the bout,
like
they come up right into one. I mean, it's metal on metal grinding. I mean, it's just like, oh God, it was cool.
So that's one of the changes about BattleBots that I don't like is used to the kill saws were active
all the time,
like all the time.
Yeah,
and now it's
well, and
like
the hammers.
Those are supposed to be 100-pound sledgehammers.
They are. I mean, they hit the ground and it's loud because it's a padded arena, not sort of padded. I don't know what the guy explained what it was,
There's
but it's
some
not
kind of like metallic.
Yeah, it's not like straight up concrete.
Yeah,
because if not, it would destroy the floor.
It wouldn't last. Yeah.
So when those things hit that semi-padded floor, it's still loud as heck. Boom, which was super super cool. And I mean, I'm glad I went. It was a great time. It's neat. They do it a few days a week.
Oh, really? So it's not just like a...
No. And I have they have general admission and the VIP, and then they had like some kind of super VIP thing. Kind of wish I'd gotten one of those. But I think the regular VIP tickets have a better seat because the super special ones, it's a pub tables. There's like pub tables over right beside the arena.
Okay.
And you can sit there, and they have like a waiter come and give you, you can buy
drinks
food or whatever.
Stuff,
but you're like right there. So it was really cool. And to hear the guy, he did a Q&A beforehand, the guy that created BattleBots. And he looks just like the kind of guy that would create BattleBots, heavy set guy, big beard, old engineer,
Get his little pocket protector with his pins in it.
He's got, he was talking about, they have something like, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of bots that try to enter.
Oh yeah, it's not like, okay, we got 20 guys.
And they have to.
You have to earn your way into it.
Yeah, they got to come out there and like try out and run through it, and they have to do the safety checks, and they have to meet all the right qualifications and things. I mean, it's a big deal. It ain't just like people just show up and you see the same bots every season and stuff, but it's not. It's because they're good.
Well, as I say, there's a reason for it.
There's a reason.
Those are the elite.
He said we invite some back. He said, but everybody has to earn their way back.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I mean, you know, last year's champion, the top 10 or whatever, they're going to come back every
Yeah.
year because it's like you're the top 10, you get auto included.
Well, I know
other ones,
you've got teams like Tombstone.
Yeah.
I know he's won several championships. You know, you know you're going to have those guys back, but I know, like on the show, they were talking about like he was mentoring like his girlfriend's kid or something. He was wanting to get into BattleBots, and he was building his own robots, but it's like a smaller division. Because I remember,
these
original,
are like little. There's some different ones.
I remember like I want to say the original BattleBots, and talking about like the early days. I know they had weight classes.
They still do, and these are heavyweights.
But it was funny because you got to see like all three.
Yeah.
On the show,
right?
And they would have like
yeah.
This one, it seems like it's more.
It's all the heavyweights,
all the heavyweight fights.
One thing that I don't like is when they bring those little companion bots. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, because you got weight limit, you know, and it's like it's 250 pounds. You got a 240-pound robot, and you got 10 pounds to play with.
But I've never seen them do anything successfully. I saw there was a drone that would shoot fire down, which was cool, but it was entirely ineffective.
Well,
I don't know what it does.
I think a lot of that is the engineering. They're trying to come up with better ways to do stuff because there's some designs that work better than others.
Yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of very similar bots. You know, it's either the vertical or the horizontal spinning blade.
Yeah.
You know, because that works.
Dude, straight up, those barrel spinners.
Yes.
You can hear them. I was sitting there, you could hear, I mean, it was like a roar, like an engine.
Now, are you talking about the barrel or are you talking about the egg beater?
No, I guess like the egg beater.
It's hollow in the middle.
It's like it's a tumbler kind of a thing. Yeah. Boy, you could hear them revving up. I was like, oh my God. To see them right up front, I was like, man, I wouldn't want to be chased down by something like that. Dude, you hear that, Elon Musk? It's a bad idea, dude. This is a horrible idea, man.
You want Terminators? That's how you get Terminators. This
is how you get Terminators, yeah.
They're going to be like, you remember when the humans made us fight?
Yes. It's time to fight back.
But it is neat because there are people that will push someone like Mammoth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or Huge. I know that's another one because he's got the big
big
wheels with the spinning blade in the middle. Yeah. And you're like, God, I don't know. That seems like a stupid ideal because this works. You know, why wouldn't they all be? But a lot of it is engineering trying to push the limits.
Yeah.
Because something, it works in like comics and movies where you've got like the big spider walking type bots. There's maybe been one or two that I can think of that did like BattleBots. And it's more of a proof of concept.
Yeah.
Than actual.
There's a lot of heady dudes and girls that develop those things, and they're using physics and kinetic energy to create this damage and stuff like that. When I'm thinking, just shoot them. Can we just
let's just put like a ram piston on it, and we're just going to run into you. I'm just going to hit you with that piston.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be lethal. Can we like just strap a rubber pellet shooting Gatling gun on the side of it and just beat it to death? That's where my brain goes.
But what's wild is there'll be some. There's one, and oh gosh, I can't think.
Something while you're talking.
It's their whole gimmick is they're like a pizza. And forgive me because I cannot think. Yes. But the whole way it is designed and it drives and everything is based off how the kinetic energy is handled. And to me, that's crazy because you're doing the math.
Yeah.
To figure out how to make this work.
Yes. Yep.
And people were like, when they first came in, they're like, "Holy cow!" Because like it wreaked havoc like its first season.
Right.
Just coming in and
but some of those are one and dones because
some of them are because
you start figuring it out.
Well, it's we're not there yet.
Yeah.
I remember there was one it I don't know, had like 10 or 12 legs and it's walking and it's got like a skirt around it to protect the legs, and of course you get in one of those with the spinners and they come in literally and just
eat the bottom of it.
Yeah. But it was more of a proof of concept that you can make this work, to get the engineering where it can actually walk on these very fine legs, but the problem is you have these very fine legs.
Yeah. Which is what is said about me quite often.
Yes, it is very fine legs.
Things
you never thought you had.
I stopped his thought.
This is payback for knocking him out the window the week. Chad is very proud of himself. I'm going to take a sip of my Aquafina.
Oh, there he goes. Not sponsored by PepsiCo, even though West works for them.
But if they want to sponsor us, they're more than welcome to.
But no,
but it is neat to see, though, the different concepts that people will come up with.
Right, yeah.
And you've seen some on the show, and you're like, there is no way on God's green earth that makes any sense, like what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, on paper, it probably, oh, man, it'll knock down a redwood tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. As soon as they fire it up, and he like shoots off into the wall because they can't control it.
Yeah, and that's what this guy said, because they asked, they were like, what is the biggest like destructive thing that you've ever seen? And he said it was early on, and I don't know the specifics, but there was a bot that was a spinning bot, right? And it had like different impact points that it would hit with. And he said the guy came in and he adjusted like one of those arms to try to hit something on the bot that he was doing, but he forgot that it imbalanced it. And he said as soon as it cranked it up, it just destroyed itself.
Yeah.
It just started spinning and just exploded. It never even made contact with the other bot.
I've seen some where they will hit the floor of the arena.
Yeah.
And it's just game over. Because like once they get out of balance.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll have some, because I mean, these things are armored to withstand these attacks.
Right.
Or hopefully.
Mm.
But you'll see them like break off just a small part of a blade or something, and you see one of those spinners just shoot off.
Because the balance means so much.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the full body spinners, you know, like Shredderator and those guys that are designed to spin and hit, but like once something gets either broke or knocked off and you see them, they just tear themselves apart.
Yeah.
Which has to be heartbreaking for the guys on the team, because they're just like, we got to
especially
fix all
back
that.
when or ones that don't have sponsors. You know, now they have like sponsors from these engineering firms and science
different companies
and stuff like that, and electronics companies and stuff. So that helps them. But the startup ones where they put money into it and it's like, oh well, there it went.
Guys, I'll see you in 10 years.
It's like flying a radio controlled jet. Boy, if you don't know how, it's a bad day.
I always feel bad for those guys, because I see videos pop up on YouTube or Facebook or something, and you're like, this is a beautiful thing. And
you seen the one where guy, it's like a P-38 Lightning? No, it's really cool, and he hits his buddy, rams right into him. No, where he hits his buddy standing there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about, there was one of the guys, he's got one, and him and another guy are flying.
Yeah.
And I guess they were wanting to go like this, and he just, destroys both of them.
This guy just standing there, and it just, boom! It just hits him with this freaking, and it's a big-bodied plane, too.
I wouldn't want to get hit by one of these BattleBots, though. I mean,
no. But it was super fun, man, and I was like, I can't wait to tell the fans about that.
Well, we were talking about that because, Chad was coming back, and I was like, well, do we want to try to record? And it's like, well, I'm still traveling. And he said, but I've got some really cool stories to share about BattleBots. So I'm glad you got to do that.
It was so fun. So if you're ever going to go to Las Vegas for something like that, go ahead, go to Ticketmaster and buy tickets to this Destructathon. BattleBots Destructathon. I had a great time. The VIP is just it's probably like $10 more or something than the general admission. It's worth it. Get there early enough to where you can get down front. There's really no bad seat in the house, but I was one row back from the floor, I guess. And I had a great time. It was so freaking cool. So
nerds doing cool stuff.
Yeah. Other than that, Vegas is nuts. I mean, I met some good folks from Texas. Love you guys. You're awesome. It was a good time, and
just remember, Chad, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Well, it's just nerd stuff, Walking is freaking crazy, dude. There's people, the street
performers. Is it a lot of walking? Just everything.
Yeah, if you want to go see a bunch of stuff, there's a lot of walking, but it's a lot of neat. I mean, it's pretty neat. It's gambling's not my thing. But it's people watching is quite interesting.
Oh, I'd say that's.
I flew back. I got on the plane coming back, and DJ Pauly D from the freaking what is it? Jersey Shore was on the same plane.
No clue.
And I'm surprised. I'm shocked that I knew who that was.
I am too, because I'm like,
well, I walked past him. I was like, I think I know who that guy is, and then I went back and I was like,
yeah, but see, where you had
I
been a
Google,
cop for so
I gotta Google
long,
stuff. Yeah.
We've gone places, and I'm like, what? And you're like, I know that person from somewhere. I don't know if I know them or if I arrested them. It's like, okay, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, but yeah, which is I couldn't remember his name, and it was surprising I didn't see any other celebrities. But
So he was on your flight back.
yeah, he was in the front. I was going to Dallas Fort Worth,
Okay,
and then here Knoxville, so I guess he got off at that point. But it was interesting. But it's funny to my little buddy from Amarillo, a little bit of Deadpool, because I know you're a big fan of Deadpool, and that one's coming out to you if you're watching. But it was a fun time. But BattleBots definitely worth a
work trip out there.
Heck yeah, man. As a matter of fact, I think, at least from this area, a lot of places, because Vegas is such a big touristy place, you can get pretty cheap flights to go.
Mm-hmm.
You just plan and go and do it, because it's pretty dang fun.
Just kind of make like a day trip out of it,
especially if you're a big fan of the show. It's or get tickets to one of the World Championship recordings.
I'd say that would be interesting though, to see the top.
Yeah, because this one actually
sport.
driving those bots. Because at this show there's one set of stands for the Destructathon, right? But it's open on the other side,
mm-hmm.
and that's where they pull stands out for the big televised events. Yeah, because then there's stands on both sides of the tunnel where they come out, and the tunnel's there. They come out of the tunnel for the Destructathon, but so they just push those stands back. I don't really know why, but they did. But it's cool, so it's definitely worth going. So it is pretty cool, man. I had a great time. So
we're gonna give that the nerdy old men's thumbs
the
up.
Seal of approval. Yes, sir.
So if you're in Vegas, go check out BattleBots.
Yes.
It is certified nerdy old men.
So, we asked some fans if they had any ghost stories.
Yes.
Okay. So our good buddy Tim Rucker, who never lets us down. Rucker, you're awesome. You never let us down. Designer of most of our logos.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So I'm gonna hit. He sent me a few things here. I'm just gonna hit something out of random here. Okay. That he sent. So,
all right.
My ex-wife, who is British, lost her grandmother. Her grandmother, again, this is Tim Rucker's story. Her grandmother was very strong-willed and resilient. Her name was Edna, but everyone called her Queen Mum. My ex was always very close to her grandmother and was very upset when she passed, and was planning to travel back to England with our young daughter for the funeral. As I didn't have the time to take off, I stayed home. While they were gone, I came home after work one day, and there was a yellow book lying face down open at the top of the stairs. It was so obvious and unmissable. I'm not sure why I didn't think to check the name of the book or to read what it was open to. I stupidly just went and put it back in my daughter's room, at the other end of the hall on her bookshelf. Later, when talking to my wife, I mentioned all this, and she got extremely quiet. She said, "I think that's a book my grandmother gave me." And it just appeared in the thing. So, continuation. Sorry, continuation. I didn't read these ahead of time, so I'm reading them now for the first time. As mentioned, my ex and her grandmother were always close. Being my wife lived here in the States and her grandmother lived in England, they had a standing time to talk to each other on the phone every Sunday morning at around 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, the next Sunday, after they were back home from the funeral in England, my ex was extremely sad because this would be the first call they ever missed. We as a family were sitting down to eat breakfast when the phone rang. She looked stunned because it was 10 o'clock. She goes to the phone, and the caller ID is gibberish. Totally scrambled, she answers the call, and there's an automated message, and it says, "I hope you enjoy your trip to paradise." Needless to say, my wife was shook. Well, that's interesting.
That is very interesting.
So I got one of my own, because we promised some ghost stories. Way back when I was a police officer in the great city of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yes.
I had a very large beat for a while. I had campus in downtown. Then I had all the way down Elcola Highway to Blount County, back out towards the McGee Tyson Airport, but this side. And there was a bunch of bars and things down through there. And at the time, there was a gentleman's club and then another bar. And then was it Sky Ranch? It's a small airport. Okay. And I was cruising down through it like, dark 30, middle of the night, and looking for drunk drivers predominantly. So Alcohol Highway and Governor John Sevier Highway meet. Mm-hmm. There is a very big history of fatal accidents right there.
They have redesigned that.
They did. They completely redesigned it.
I mean, it's
of course, they've been working out on Alkilia Highway for like 40 years. So, but anyway, so I'm cruising down through there. It's probably 3:30, the witching hour kind of time. Mm-hmm. It was dark and it was cold. So, or actually, no, I take it back. It was not cold. It was warm because that's important to the story. So I was going down through there, and I was looking over to the left, and I looked back to the right, and there is a woman in a white dress, not like a wedding dress,
but like just a white
like
dress.
A sundress kind of thing, walking the direction I was driving, and it looks like she's soaking wet.
Okay.
So I just happened to call her out of the corner of my eye, so I was zipping by. I was like, ah. So I hit my brakes and looked in the rearview mirror, and she's gone. And the first thing I think, tombstone courage and being stupid, I was like, that asshole's drunk and ran away from me. So I back it up and I jump out and I run back there, and I've got my flashlight and I'm looking and I don't see her. And like I said, it was in the summer and I got real cold.
Ooh.
Like a cold come over me, and I'm like, I need to go.
Get back in the car.
Back in my car, and I left.
Easy there, Barney.
And I didn't see her anymore. I kept, I got the nerve up to keep trying. And it was funny when I went to where I work now, and I was talking to a guy who was a Knox County deputy. We were telling ghost stories about things we had seen, crazy crap we'd seen.
Yeah.
And I told him the story, and he goes, "Shut up." I was like, "What?" And he goes, "On the west side of Alcoa Highway?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's over where the Mouse's Hair was. I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I saw her too."
Really?
It was on a different night. It was in the winter that he had saw her. I was like, "Bullshit." And he's like, "No, I did." Andy Walker used to be a deputy there, and I worked with him. Yeah. And so we'd both seen her, which was pretty darn interesting.
So that really kind of cemented it in your
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
Okay, I actually did see something.
Yeah. Well, like the Bleak House in Knoxville, which was General Longstreet's headquarters during the Battle of Knoxville in the Civil War. So there's a story of upstairs, and it's true. And I snuck up there one day when my daughter was out there getting senior pictures for high school. So
telling on himself.
Well, yeah, okay. But I went up there, and there are still bullet holes in the bell tower because there was a Confederate sniper up there, and they were trying to take him out. So anyway, and actually got switched both ways. The Confederates owned it for a little while, the Union owned it for a little while, just much like Knoxville during that time. Anyway,
Well, I was about to say pretty much all of Tennessee was a battleground.
Yes, yeah. So anyway, but I'd worked with a guy, a canine officer at KPD, and he had to go out there for an alarm or whatever, and his dog wouldn't go in the basement.
Really?
He said that dog would go anywhere. It was a Belgian Malinois, and they're nuts anyway.
Those are like the most.
Yeah, and his was especially crazy. And because I rode with him before when I first started training, and that dog ran laps in the back seat for 9 hours. Never stopped.
They are working dogs. I mean,
it was nuts.
Amazing.
And he said that dog would not go in the basement.
Really?
And it would go anywhere. And so it was just a creepy place. Yeah. So.
Well, it was funny. We were talking about the ghost stories and stuff, and we did Alan Miller's Ghost Walk up in La Follette.
Oh, you did.
And
I want to do that so bad.
I believe Alan may be done for the season.
Yeah.
But it's a good 2-hour experience. And you walk downtown La Follette, and he's got several stories that he tells in different places, things that had happened, and there's some wild stuff happening. La Follette was kind of a rough and tumble place because
it's on the outskirts of.
Well, it was, but
places.
It was there was coal mining, there was the coke ovens, there was a lot going on, and then just some really interesting characters, I'll put it that way. But Alan, he tells a really good tale going through, giving you kind of the history of La Follette, kind of what happened and things. are open to interpretation on some, because he will tell you, he's like, these are historical people. These are the facts. You can go to the Historical Society. You can look these up. These events happened. And then he will tell you, he goes, these are stories I have been told. So he does.
Yeah, preface.
He does qualify each one. But it's so interesting because you don't realize we've just spent 2 hours walking around downtown. And it's not a very, very large area. But the amount of stories that he's got, because he's got dozens of stories, it's well worth, for $10, and we went, and there was probably 60 people that showed up for this. It was nuts. It was so, because he's got, sometimes I have 10, 12 people, but there was like 60 people showed up for this.
And he is such a good guy.
He's a good storyteller.
I love that guy. Because we interviewed him at Pat's Con. Yeah, Nerdwords the Con. We interviewed him.
Yes, we did.
He was cool.
If you get a chance, you can reach out. Alan Miller's Ghost Walk. He's on Facebook, Instagram, all that. We will have links in the show notes. But if you're interested, I believe that he can schedule like a private walk. I want to say it's like maybe 10 people. But you can reach out to him, let him know that we sent you. But Alan's he's a good guy, an amazing artist, phenomenal storyteller. So if you get a chance and you're looking for something to do and, get the little spooky Halloween vibes, that's something to do, because there's a lot of like ghost stories and things in the East Tennessee area. So it's neat though. So go check Alan out and let him know that the Nerd Men sent you.
Yeah, heck yeah, that's fun, man. So I want to do that. Now it'll, I guess, be next season, but it'll only get better for him because he does really
well. He's done this. I want to say like 15 years.
Oh wow,
he's been doing it, and he keeps getting stories and researching some stuff. But he's very thorough in explaining things, and we had a really good time. I know Julie and the girls had went one night, and they had fun. And I was like, well, if I wanted to do that, and I said I've never been able to do it. And they're like, well, we want to go again. And I was like, okay. So like a few days later, they went through and did the exact same tour that they had done awesome. The week before. So.
That's sick. That's really cool. So, yeah, man. What are we gonna do next? What's coming up? I don't know.
It's D&D night.
It is D&D night.
We have not mentioned that.
That is correct. That is correct.
It is D&D night.
We're excited to see, because Brian could not be with us last time. He was coming back from Texas doing some Brian thing.
I don't know.
Brian's sneaky.
I don't know, flying helicopters and shooting bottle rockets. I don't
helicopters
know.
Doing something. I don't know. But Brian is coming back, and when we have someone miss a session,
bad things happen, man. Bad things
with
happen. Scotty
Too Hottie as the DM, things go down. Mostly R-rated things, sometimes worse. It's normally quite traumatic for the character. So we'll see what happens to Brian. We'll just see what happens to Brian. Now, Meat Shield J,
he is
my
not
brother will not be
tonight.
here, so he's already preparing for for the debauchery that will.
He's like, something bad's going to happen to me. I already know it.
Yeah, so
that's what you get for missing, Jay.
Hey, it's just, look, decisions have consequences. They do.
Yes. You decide to miss D&D night?
There's consequences.
Yeah.
For it. Life happens, and that's fine. Life is important.
Yes.
But there are decisions that have to be made.
We're talking about D&D here, though.
But D&D, there are consequences for your actions or your inactions, for that matter. So,
when in doubt, cast Fireball.
Well, on that note, hey, thank you for joining us online. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. Make sure that you like and share the videos and all that kind of good stuff. And
we are on our way to 100 subscribers.
Yeah, if everybody that listened to us on audio would do that, we'd already have a freaking button. one of those YouTube buttons to hang around here somewhere. So that's kind of what we're going with. But we appreciate you listening to us on audio like you always do.
If you would like some merch,
yes. Not this one is promised already.
Yes, this one is promised.
But the other stuff.
If you would like something like what Chad is wearing, you can check out our Teespring store.
Yep.
Have it shipped right
or
to
catch
you.
us in person and we'll be able to get it for you. So
absolutely.
Until next time, this old bald man Chad with Redneck West.
Yeehaw.